All right, guys, a watch list for Monday, November 2nd. Let's start with VTL. Very strong stock and has pulled in a couple days now to the 8-day. I don't know, it might need another day to come in, but we'll have it on a chart on Monday in the chat room, see if we can catch an intraday turn and maybe a nice trade in it. I only take it with a proper intraday setup, so it's on watch at the moment. EROS, again, this has been on bounce watch every day. I haven't taken a short in this yet, and we've traded this several times to the long side, which I guess makes me look kind of stupid, but I've had one losing trade in this out of like probably 10, and I've done really well in this name. So in other words, when it does bounce, it gives some really nice and somewhat predictable bounces if you play them right. And now Friday, biggest volume yet on this sell. Keep in mind, this thing has come from on October 13th, this was $33, and now it's down at 11. In just just a few weeks, right? So this is really interesting, and the biggest volume day yet, and it's still closed below its open, but not you don't have a solid red candle anymore, so it seems like it's trying to bounce here. Just be careful with it. Don't ever bet the farm on it, but I think this is a good setup for a bounce. Really like the high volume on Friday, so we'll have that one on watch for a bounce. RKUS, big sell off on Friday, had some support at 11. Big volume, obviously. If it gets down to, maybe it opens at 11 and goes down to 1050. 1050 is where it bounced from in August, so that's a real interesting area. But we'll keep that one on bounce watch also. SC, kind of the same thing. Another couple big down days here. Might be ahead of itself, and also bounced off this area back here. I have to go all the way back to like January, but still, when things get, if you look at the candles on the daily chart, you don't really see any going all the way back a year or so, right? You don't see any this big, so I do think this is ahead of itself and could give a nice bounce. I always like to have potential bounce plays on my radar every day, in addition to strong plays on pullbacks and so on. So NYMX had a really nice move on Thursday, and then kind of a quiet lower inside day on much lower volume on Friday. A lot of times the third day that'll rip again, so I want to watch that one. FLR, really strong, nice volume, and trying to sneak above this $48 resistance here. Peaked above it on Friday, but I like the volume, I like the strong close. This one might have a follow-through day on Monday. VSCP, long or short, I have no idea, but I really want to watch this one because it can give pretty nice moves. One of our members, Brian Z, asked me about this in pre-market, and like the genius that I am, I didn't scoff at it, but I said, well, it just doesn't meet my parameters because it only traded 3,000 shares. I want to see some really nice relative volume in pre-market. But Brian had done, and he emailed me over the weekend, he had done a little more research than just, hey, this is gapping up on 3,000 shares. And some people in chat really made some nice money off this. I traded it, or I called it a couple times that gave decent bounces in the areas that I suggested after the initial pullback. But I didn't trade this as a gap play because it didn't have enough pre-market volume. It shows how smart I am, right? I mean, it opened up at 250-ish and went all the way to 6-something. That's crazy. So anyway, hats off to Brian, and I'm going to keep a closer eye on his on his ideas going forward. Anyway, I want to have that on watch again on Monday because you never know. We might get a red to green or something and get a nice move in it. So let's go to Fitbit, FIT. You've got kind of a trend line here. Nice volume on Friday. This one, I don't really like to call something that's just moved from a low of 37 all the way to 40, almost 41 in one day. But again, we might get a red to green and it might break above these recent highs. So strong daily chart there the last month or so. XOMA put in a little narrow green candle on Friday, and on Monday I want to watch it for a push above Friday's high. So $1.26 could be a nice catalyst. Maybe come up and re-challenge and break out above these highs. We'll see. I want to watch XOMA. ACRX, nice volume and closed near its high. So maybe a red to green or something there. And finally, FLDM. Nice relative volume, really beating up stock. I mean, if you look back in April, this thing was almost $46 and has made its way all the way down. And so nice volume on Friday, and maybe a red to green there also. All right, in addition to this list, we'll be watching for gappers on Monday morning as well. and enjoy the rest of your weekend, and we'll talk to you on Monday.